Hi yogis and welcome. My name is Bree and I'll be taking you through a 20-minute lower back yin sequence. This sequence is for all levels and to find relief in your fascia and connective tissue that might feel really rigid and tight either around your hips or your lower back. Both can be very uncomfortable and painful, and this practice will be long passive holds to relieve pressure in that area. Feel free whenever you're ready. No props are necessary, just you, your body, your mat. Will come down to rest comfortably onto the mat. So one of the first things I recommend is with low back pain, you're just going to want to recline your back to the mat. I'm going to recommend for you to bend your feet and walk your feet wide to let your knees fall inward. That allows your lower back to spread and have a little more space. And then there's a couple options with your hands open in a V. You can cactus your elbows. You can even rest your hands on your body. We'll come to rest our eyes so that we let go of one sense. We turn our gaze inward to our bodies, feeling a little bit more intently. Starting to notice where your body rests against the ground. And any residual tension that was holding you up right now, we can let it go as we feel ourselves recline to the mat. In this practice, our breathing will be even and long. No constriction at the back of your throat. Just nice full stretch of your breath in through your nose and out through your nose. If you notice your breath becoming choppy at any point in this practice, that could be a sign that you're pushing the body a little bit past that level of fascia, a connective tissue stretch, and that's innervating the nervous system. We're actually going to use less of the effort or force approach and more about relaxing the body so that this plastic-like tissue can release tension. To get started, let's walk our feet in hips width distance. Knees are going to open over your ankles. And take your right ankle over your left knee in a figure 4 shape. Some of us, just letting our right hand on our knee, will be plenty of sensation in your right hip as it hangs back. Others of us are going to need to pick up our left thigh, kind of like your right hand is sweeping on the inside and the left hand outside to interlace your palms. And it's going to wake up quite a bit of a tug in your outer right hip and thigh, so your feet, let them relax. Notice your shoulders, your jaw softening. As we hang out here for around 15 breaths or so, we're going to try to become as passive as possible, as effortless as possible. Allowing our breath to soften and smooth out any tension or tugging that you feel in your right outer hip and thigh. And slowly over time, it'll gently dissipate. Breathing in and exhaling out. So where we carry this tension in our fascia and connective tissue, it can be a little bit needing a different type of stretch than our muscular stretching. And this will happen because when we hold a shape and let our muscles go, the next layer of rigid tissue will feel the stress or the pulling. It kind of feels like Laffy Taffy stretching in our outer thigh and hip. And the more willing and able you are to relax into that, the more that will release that built up pressure that's cumulative from stress. From holding a certain posture for a long time, like being seated, or just having a prolonged experience of effort in our lives versus relaxation. If this doesn't feel like much, or you've been practicing this with me for a while, you might interlace your hands around your left shin. But if you feel like you're at a 5 out of 10 in sensation already in your outer thigh, there's no need to change. That's what we'll look to remain at, a 5 out of 10. 10 would be like pain, and we'll stay far away from pain in this practice. So anything that shows as hot, sharp, shooting, electric, pinpoint, we're gonna back out of that. And it should only feel like this Laffy Taffy like tug. Go ahead, let your left foot come down. Keep your right ankle and knee exactly as it is. So if you removed it, replace it, and just roll your knees to the left. This is gonna feel pretty intense. You're gonna let that right knee widen upright and relax your outer right hip and thigh because it's gonna bunch up a little. There's a lot of sensation here in this one. It's an IT band release in your outer right hip where it attaches. And your hip, one of the largest joints of your body, has so many nerve endings that it's highly sensational when there's pressure put on this space. It's healthy pressure, just like sometimes we can have healthy stress in our lives, encouraging us to grow. As that right foot reclines down to the ground in time, you might look over your right shoulder. You're gonna breathe into your right hip and shoulder. And exhale, soften. Taking about 10 more breaths here. Nice long exhales. In this practice, we get quieter and quieter so that we can more reflect inward and provide our mind and body space to rest and digest what stress is being held on and what we're ready to let go of. As our body remains still in these postures, our mind will slowly start to settle. Racing thoughts will slow down. And our nervous system will cool. Even our body temperature might be noticeably shifted from this practice. Bring your knees back upright. And take your right thigh over your left, bringing your left knee now and right knee into chest. Roll your knees over to your left side. A little twist. Now the cross of your legs is increasing this twist. If that's too much, just stack your knees. So it's just right knee over left. And gaze over your right shoulder in this twist. Again, the breathing shouldn't feel restricted. Long and even. There might be a little more pressure in your navel, low back as you breathe into it. And witness how that starts to kind of break up and smooth and even out, creating more space in your body, creating more space then in your mind. Gently lift your chin back to center. Uncross your right knee off your left and bring 2 knees back up to chest, rolling onto your back. A little hug of your thighs and a gentle rock side to side here. Noticing there's some achy tenderness in your right thigh, hip, and lower back. And that's actually the release of tension or pressure. We'll switch sides with our feet down. Take your left ankle over your right knee, that figure 4 shape. And again, some of us might just rest your left hand on thigh and just kind of hang out there, allowing that sensation to kind of dull over time. And whenever you feel ready, you might meet us with your hands around your right thigh, drawing in. Your feet and ankles can relax. Notice if your shoulders or jaw grip from feeling that push on your left outer hip. There's some pressure through the joint as this connective tissue is very plastic-like, intentionally so. It holds us together. But as we apply this pressure into that tissue, even around the joint capsule, it's creating a release of moisturization actually for the joint. It's lubricating the joint so that it has more ability to be limber, to be adaptable, to be mobile in your joints. It's cleaning out the closets of our hips. Follow your breath down into that tension. Relaxing your jaw, your eyes, your face. And again, about 10 more breaths here. You might slide your thighs a little further away to increase that pressure for the last 5 or so breaths here. Right foot is going to come down to ground. And keep your left ankle as is. You're just going to roll the knees to the right. Arms out to a T with your left foot to ground. You can look to the left shoulder. Letting that left shoulder recline. You want the left hip to kind of hang towards the mat too. But the shelf you've created with your right thigh for your left ankle is allowing that left knee to discover pressure in your outer left hip. And you breathe in and down to your left hip. So the breath is kind of eroding the pressure in your left hip and thigh. Relaxing through the left thigh, hip, knee, and foot. Noticing that either achiness might slightly increase or the pressure might decrease. Each and every one of us different, and every day might feel different that you do this. Gently chin back to center, knees back to chest. And now just take that left thigh, cross it over your right, bringing your knees in. And again, if you stacked your knees left and right next to each other on the other side, do the same here. Letting your knees tuck up and in over to your right underarm and look left to twist. This twist is wrapping the vertebrae, creating compression into the connective tissue between the discs. So as you relax back here, the healthy stress applied to your spine is relieving tension along your whole spine, but especially your hips and your lower back. Breathing into those areas that you feel it first and most. About 10 or so more breaths. Bringing your chin back to center, uncrossing your knees if they're crossed, and knees back to chest. A nice hug around your thighs here. Gently rocking side to side. Coming to set up your legs down long in a downward V, your hands in a downward V. So your body can come to rest here in a little Shavasana. Feel free to take this space to pause, to process, to let this joint manipulation kind of be received in your body. Giving yourself anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes to process. Thank you so much for joining me here today in this practice. If it was of benefit, I look forward to seeing you practicing with me again soon. You can join me live in person at Angel Cooperative or live stream any of my practices. My schedule is available on BreannaTaylorYoga.com, or you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Breanna Taylor Yoga. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and sending you love and light. Namaste.